So the Rams take on the Falcons in Monday Night Football in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I wanted to see if we even had a shot at beating them. Now, granted, this is, in my opinion, the best team in the league, and it's always good to go up against the best of the best to see where you stand, even though we're eliminated from the playoffs, but, you know, you get what I'm saying. And while I was looking at some of their, I guess you would say, defensive stuff to see if we even had a chance to scoring, because we've gotten shut out this year, I came across something that really just gave me hope that we can actually sit up there and contend with them. When I got into doing my research on the Rams defense, it didn't really take me long to figure out a weakness. I'm not saying I'm just this, you know, Nostradamus, right? But there was a big talking point in terms of, oh, the, you know, running backs and receivers, they really don't get off on this team. And so Bijan Robinson is our best weapon on offense. So I naturally look at what the running backs do, and I started at Christian McCaffrey, okay? Christian McCaffrey did not have the best games on the ground, but through the air, he had very good games. And so that led me to pulling his tape and seeing how he got those catches and whether they were just check downs or they were actually like manufacturing stuff for him. And it was a mix of both. And he got at least like 150 yards total doing both. Either it be check downs or they're designing plays for him. So then naturally that took me to other running backs in the passing game against the Rams. And I started to see a trend is that they just really don't cover running backs out of the backfield that well. And I'm not saying it's some Achilles heel, but when you get into the playoffs, you know, your weaknesses will get amplified, okay? Because then I watched the Seahawks running back, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Then I watched the Panthers running backs, Enrico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. And I saw one consistent thing is that, once again, if they're out of the backfield, there's not going to be much attention on them. And then it gets even worse when they get schemed, you know, scheme touches, whether that be wheel route, screen passes, or like in Christian McCaffrey's instance, they just haven't run a million choice routes. So I want to talk about, you know, what they do give up and how Bijan fits into that. And, you know, that could be a possible way that we win. I'm not saying we don't run the ball with Bijan, but we're going to be leveraging him a lot in the pass game. That's my assumption. But if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Let's go and get into the tape. So this is the first play I really want to look at in terms of, you know, how they get the running backs open and why they're so successful. And in this play right here, they're going to be running this angle screen by Christian McCaffrey. So you're first going to get this motion out, and that's really kind of just irrelevant. These two guys are irrelevant, but you're going to get Christian McCaffrey flaring out, and then he's going to go right back in. This is what an angle screen is, okay? And it helps that the Rams are dropping 8, so they really aren't pressured that much, but you're going to also have the center and then the right guard getting out to go block. And the tackle's going to carry on this guy, you know, just pretty much wash him down, right? Kyle Juszczyk is going to release out this way and go block the most dangerous man, and he's pretty much going to take the safety out of the way. This is very good play calling, and where I would put blame right here is Nate Landman. You know, I wish we would have kept him, but, you know, this is one of the things where you have to match him out the backfield, okay? Especially if you're playing some kind of quarters, because when you look at this play through, you're going to see what I'm talking about, where, you know, you get the motion by George Kittle and you see Nate Landman, he widens, but there's nothing really there to, you know, resist him from catching this pass cleanly, okay? Because now when he catches the ball, he's going to get engaged. He's running off. The nearest guy that's responsible for him is Nate Landman, okay? And once he catches that ball, he sets up his blocks perfectly. He gets an explosive play off of this. So this is one of the things where I'm saying, you know, even aside from check downs, when they scheme up running backs in the passing game, they have a lot of success against this defense. Now, I could be here showing Christian McCaffrey catches against the Rams all day because he has a lot of them, but I don't want to show all of them. I'm going to show you ones against different teams, and then we're going to get into Bijan. So this is the next play right here. So this is the Seahawks game that we saw the other day where they made a miraculous comeback and won the game. Well, this is a really good concept, and I'm not saying we're going to steal this, but if I were Zach Robinson, I would definitely try to leverage this, okay? So we're going to get JSN is going to be motioning over, okay? They're going to create this bunch right here. It's going to be a 4x1 set. You're going to have this receiver run a drag. You're going to have Rashid Shaheed going to be running this corner to run off the coverage, and then you're going to have JSN. He's going to be doing this return route, okay? And where this opens up the running back is he's going to release out and run this little arch route. Now, that's the difference between like a Texas route and a little arch route. You see the release is like a little bit different, okay? And as far as the defense, the Rams, they're playing some version of quarters, so I already know that when they create this 3x1, this weak side safety is playing tricks or poach, whatever term you want to use, okay? You're going to have this quarter flat right here expanding. You're going to have the middle hook, also another quarter flat, and then this guy's going to be bailing out. Now, this could be quarter half, but either way, this is a version of quarters because I consider cover 6 and cover 9 quarters. So when we get into this play, you're going to see that nobody really, once again, acknowledges Kenneth Walker out of the backfield, okay? So you're going to get this motion to create this bunch at the snap, okay? So you have to force the bunch rules on the fly, right? And it also doesn't help when they do a switch release, okay? Because now, look, the number count has changed. JSN becomes the new number 1, and he was just a number 3. He becomes a new number 3. He becomes a new number 2, okay? So now the bunch rules, you know, they're kind of messy now, right? And now here's Kenneth Walker out of the backfield, and nobody's really guarding him, okay? This is the nearest guy, but you see how much space was created just by leveraging your players, okay? Because now this guy's kind of worried about JSN. What is he going to do? This guy's going to pick up Nate Landman, and now I could just run into space right here, okay? Very good play call by Clint Kubiak in getting this open, because he's seeing that when you leverage your talent, okay, the best receiver in football this year, you're going to naturally get this guy to widen, especially if you have something else coming across. And then once again, they just lose the running back in coverage. And this was like a 1st and 10. You get 13 yards, and now you're at the goal line, okay? We definitely need to, you know, involve Bijan and Tyler in the passing game for this to actually work, though. And this one right here is probably my favorite because it's so simple, okay? So we're going to get a 2x2 set by the Texans, okay? And pre-snap by the Rams, you see that they're going to be mugging the front with the safety and Nate Landman, okay? And you still see a 2-high structure. So you're probably thinking, what's going on here, right? You don't really know what could happen. These guys could drop. These guys can come. You can get some kind of simulated pressure, whatever, okay? But as if, you know, we start, you know, scrolling this forward a little bit, you're going to see what happens, okay? So now this safety starts to get into striking range, right? And now you probably can anticipate, okay, maybe we're getting some kind of zero, but he's running into the middle of the field, okay? So now what we're going to be getting at the snap here for the defense is you're going to be getting a 3 deep, 3 underneath, okay? And once again, if you've been here for a while, you know these are more match based, so that means, you know, you're going to be doing things depending on the release of the receivers, right? Because you have your 3 deep with the safety and the corners, then you have the 3 underneath with, you know, these guys right here, okay? And also this is behind a 5-man blitz, right? Now offensively, what's going on here, I do like this concept because for one, they're going to slot the line this way. That way CJ Stroud can see, you know, if I'm hot, I can see him, right? So they're going to slide away from him. The running back's going to flare out immediately. You're going to get this glance route by the slot receiver. You're going to get this mandatory outside release by the number 1 receiver. Then you're going to be getting this China concept at the bottom of the screen with a corner and then a fin or a 5 and in. And you start to see the problem right here. Now, naturally, when it's a 2x2 set and there's a running back, you know, on either side, this guy right here will be responsible for matching that running back out the backfield. So in this situation, in a perfect world, this guy flies out there and goes to guard him. But at the same time, now you're leaving this open. And now you're putting, you know, these 2 guys in the line. Because now what if you clamp down on this and that's a post right there, okay? But it's not, so we know. But you get what I'm saying. It's kind of like it's the game within the game right here, all right? So you're going to see when this ball is already snapped, by the way, it's in midair. You're going to see that also, look at the front, guys. The front is also aligned in such a way where you have to buy this right guard into the slot. So now it becomes a 4-man slot, okay? He can't just sit here, you know, and just look, right? He has to go that way and acknowledge that, right? So this front was created beautifully by Chris Shula, but, you know, good offense is always going to be good defense, all right? So you're going to see that when, you know, you get this 4-man slot, now Nate Landman's coming free. Originally, it would be him, but since we know he's going out on the route, we got 5 out in the pattern, he's going to run straight out. And look at who's covering him. Nobody. Okay, Cameron Curl, he may be looking at him, but he's about, you know, 10, maybe even 11 yards away, okay? And he can't do anything to affect this, so he's only relying on this pass rush to get home because, you know, you kind of see he's flat-footed and this guy's in a full sprint out into the backfield. Now, you see that he catches that pass, and now you get 16 yards, and now you're almost in striking distance to, you know, go and get a touchdown. So this is some good stuff that I, you know, really picked up when watching the running backs go against these guys in pass coverage. So now we're into that part of the video where we talk about, you know, Bijan's usage as a receiver, because a lot of this is overlapping, right? We use Bijan as a design receiver and we get him the ball on checkdowns, and he's created a lot of explosive plays off of checkdowns this year. So this is the first play I want to look at where it's actually just like a design play. We're going to be getting Ray McCloud. He's going to be motioning over and he's going to be taking Mike Jack right here, okay? Then you're going to get Drake London going to get the nickel, and you're going to get Kyle Pitts going first inside, and you're going to be getting Bijan on this swing route, okay? The coverage really doesn't matter because it's such a quick hitting play, but you see when you design plays for Bijan, and you're going to see what happens right here. You just get him the ball in space, right? It's just going to create like a lot of good opportunities. This is a 3rd and 7, I think. And you're going to see that, about 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 actually, but it's a 3rd down play nonetheless. And you're going to see he creates a big play just off of getting the ball to the receiver or to Bijan in space. They got about 23 yards. Now they're across the 50 and they're working. Now they didn't score this game, but you get what I'm saying. When you give him touches as a design receiver, you can create plays just like this, especially against a team that doesn't really cover running backs that well. You should be going to this a lot to force a change in that defense. Now this one right here is also another good example of just getting him the ball. Right now, I think all 3 of these will be, but you're going to see this is a screenplay designed specifically for Bijan. Now, if you watch that Thursday night football game where it was the Rams and the Seahawks, they ran something similar to this and they got all the way down to like the 3-yard line. Okay, so we're going to be getting Bijan out into the route on a screen pass, right? You're going to be getting this tag. He's going to pretty much just, watch this guy upfield and make sure he doesn't get to the quarterback. Okay, you're going to get Bergeron and Nuzul out to be like the main blockers. Okay, then you're going to get Elijah Wilkinson, who's going to just kind of sit here, and then once the ball is called, he's going to get upfield too. And Chris Lynch is going to sit here and protect, that inside pressure. Okay, now when you see this play, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Now this also works off the threat of the boot, and I don't think this would be good if we don't have the boot game going. So if we get the boot game going, this opens up this play right here where you see now look at this. Look at all the space created from between the numbers and the sideline. Okay, he's gonna catch this ball, and there is one defender immediately ready to stop him. Okay, and now when he catches this ball, he gets about at least 5 yards before he's even touched. Okay, he makes 2 guys miss right here, and then he's finally touched when he gets to the 1st down marker. But he gets about 10 more yards because he can make everybody miss. Okay, so once again, just get this man the ball in space, especially as a receiver, and we will have a chance to score on these guys continuously. Okay, now this is the last one right here. This is pretty much another swing screen right here. Okay, where we're going to be getting Bijan swinging out wide. Then you're going to be having Chris Lindstrom and Ryan Nuzul getting out to go block for him on the perimeter. Right now, these guys are going to run off the coverage, of course. Right, but you're going to see this was a 2nd and 23. I got to write it out. 2nd and 23. Okay, that's how far away we are from the sticks. Okay, and this is Bijan Robinson we're talking about. All we had to do, guys, was just get him the ball, because now look, these guys run off the coverage and blocked. Okay, and you see once he gets that convoy, 2 big linemen, and then Kyle Pitts sealing off the edge right here. All he needs to do is just see a crack and he's gone. Okay, you see that? He's out of there. Right, that's 30 easy yards. Okay, so there needs to be more leverage of Bijan as a receiver in order to open up this run game. Okay, you could use RPOs with him as the guy getting the bubble screen or some kind of smoke screen or whatever, but as long as you can leverage Bijan as a receiver, you're going to have a chance to move the ball consistently. Granted, this still is a very good defense, so you got to be member resistance everywhere, but that's my whole point I'm making. Now this is also one thing I do want to talk about as far as using Bijan as a receiver. We should use him to set up the run game. Okay, I'm not saying throw to run, but if you use the threat of Bijan on the early downs as a receiver, you're going to be setting up those shorter yardages. Okay, so let's say we use Bijan on 1st down as like a little screener on a bubble screen. Okay, he gets about 7 yards. Okay, now it's 2nd and 3. The run game is still an equation. Okay, you don't want to get into a situation where the run game's completely out of the way and now they can just sit up there and pin their ears back and go get them, because we can win, or we get pressured a lot now. Okay, and the Rams can win with 4. So if you use Bijan as a receiver on these short and quick hitting routes to set up the run game and be in favorable situations on 3rd down, then it's going to be good. You're going to get the run game going. You're going to be well established in the pass game. So that's how I suspect we should actually go about beating these guys. Now, whether they do it or not, it's completely up to them, right? I'm just showing you what I found, because everybody can see something different, okay? But that's really what I want to talk about today. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like, subscribe for more coming at y'all. Look out for a stream, and see you guys later next video. Goodbye.